Hello everyone! So this is part 3 of my conversation with Seng Henk. So in this part of the conversation, we talk about his own career aspirations, about the business of the art in Singapore, about the accessibility of the arts in general across the world, and finally we also do talk a little bit more about one of my favorite topics, which is the representation of ethnic minorities in the arts. Now just one more content call out here. We talk about the 2018 Tony Award winner for Best Musical. I could not remember the name of the musical offhand, but it's actually The Band's Visit. So you can go check it out. It's based off a movie of the same name about an Egyptian band that goes to Israel but gets stranded in a city that they didn't intend to be in. So I hope you enjoyed this part of the conversation. Go back and watch the previous 2 if you can, and I'll see you in the next few videos.
I do plan to eventually go back.
Okay, when? That's the one.
There's no timeline. I feel like there are things you can do with the art scene in Singapore, because when I look back, there are people who are so talented in Singapore. And people who are so committed to the art form. There's just no avenue and no resource. Like over here, the Aladdin, for example. The money they pour into the set and the costumes is just incredible. The money they pour into costumes for one person is probably the budget for an entire musical in Singapore.
But if you think about it, the market here is so much bigger though.
It is. But that's also the reason why we in Singapore we're struggling, because number one, we don't have the public to watch it. People just over here, going to the theater is like watching a film, going to watch a movie. Whereas in Singapore, going to the theater is a big thing. You know, it happens once or twice a year. And then they just don't have, because of that, they also don't have the industry and the resources, not only because of money, but also they don't have enough to train up talent for people to have actual experience. There are people in Singapore whom I know can do this. For example, Amin Alifin. I met him in MBC. Fucking talented. Can sing, can dance, can act. But there wasn't an avenue for him to showcase it. And I mean, he's still doing really well. He's won competitions and he's a whacking aficionado now. And he's doing well. He's doing really well. But I know he has a passion for acting and singing, but you know, there's no avenue for him. There's little avenue.
Is the solution to bringing things like Aladdin, and then knowing that people only go once or twice a year, you're going to basically kill the market because people are going to go for Aladdin and nothing else in the whole year? Or is the solution to like promote something else from within it? You know what I mean?
I don't think there's a simple solution. It's quite complex, because also in Singapore, when you go to the arts, even the general public, there's a certain status thing about watching higher class theatre and ballet and opera. There's a certain status thing watching an orchestra. Whereas
versus what?
Versus community performance. Versus urban dancing. But you have to remember, that's how things start. And if people don't support that, then you're not supporting talent.
So I guess
it.
that's my question. Like, firstly, I feel like we always assume that one of it is higher brow than others. So why do we assume that? And then the second thing is, if the market, I'm economist by my undergrad degree. So like, if the market doesn't demand the higher brow thing, so-called higher brow thing, then why do we even bother? Why don't we just do everything
I think it's
else?
a status thing in Asia.
And
from what I don't know if any of this is true, but from what I hear, a lot of productions in Singapore, even those touring from other countries, they don't actually profit. A lot of it.
Then why would they even tour?
A lot of it is by sponsors. And that's how they reach out to the market that they want, where people want to afford. Patek Philippe, for example. So that's why Patek Philippe would sponsor an opera and a musical theatre from London or America.
But then no one watches it.
But then the people who do watch, but then they get sponsored. They have sponsorship. But that's what I hear. I have no idea. This is what I heard from someone.
No, but I vaguely think it's true, because I know how difficult it is to turn a profit on productions in general. Especially in Singapore, it's like super difficult.
I mean, productions doing 8 shows a week here might not even turn a profit. In Singapore, we do 4 shows a week at most.
Even in New York, like if you're off Broadway, it's a reason all of them dies. There's no money in it.
Yeah. There's a lot of fringe theatre here. It's almost like Singapore is always fringe. They can't afford to do anything.
I mean, purely by market size,
it's quite fringy.
It almost is fringy for that reason.
Yeah.
Just pure economics is going to be.
Yeah, which is sometimes it's just upsetting because there's so many people who are talented. For example,
I agree that I feel like, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like, I feel like the level of, okay, there's a bit of a dichotomy as well. But when you talk about like our friends at RJ, a lot of them have very extensive arts education, but they all know it's just a thing. It's just like a hobby, right? Yeah. Anyway, sorry, it was like not a consequential thought, but it's just, I agree with you.
Yeah, the general consensus in Asia actually is that the arts is a hobby.
Yeah.
It's something recreational and not a career. And so to receive a holistic education means you have education in the arts as well. But that's not gonna be what you're.
So what would you do if you go back though? Like assuming 10 or 12 or 15 years.
I don't know actually, because when I was in Singapore, I was a dancer.
Yeah.
And from what I can see, I don't really keep up the Singapore scene, so maybe what I see is outdated. Yeah. But a lot of the productions, they don't quite use triple threats as much as over here. It's still quite separate. It's like King and I, where you have the singing ensemble and then you have the dancing ensemble and then you have the leads. So I don't know how much I would manage to survive on performing. Number one. So
you have to teach or?
That's all.
Okay.
I'll have to teach, start an escort. I'll have to teach, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I like teaching.
Yeah.
I do like teaching. But also, I don't really want to give up on performing, but in Singapore, there's not that many productions, and the number of productions happening in Western at any one time is more productions than Singapore has in a year. And then number two, with such a small industry that people tend to use the same few people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you have like Adrian Pang and like basically everything, and then 4 or 5 others.
Yeah, and so when I go back, it's a bit, I don't know how welcoming they will be. Because, imagine if you've been working in Singapore and this bitch comes in and goes, "Hello, I've been working in London. I'm very important." You'd be like, "Fuck off." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and also when I was in Singapore, I was a dancer. So in the circle, I'm known as a dancer.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of scared that if I do go back and work in Singapore, I'll just go back to being a dancer, which is not an issue on its own, but I'm trying to make my career progress.
Yeah.
So I've gone from dancer and then I've covered a role in Aladdin, and then now I've covered the lead in Saigon. I'm hoping that my career will continue to progress that way.
Yeah.
So, but then
you'll be a lead somewhere, right?
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? To be honest, it's not that many nuanced Asian roles that I can do.
You could do King and I. It's like.
Yeah.
That's like the only one.
There's King and I, there's Allegiance,
Allegiance is not... Is it here?
No, it's in...
No, I think it ended its run in New York.
It wasn't even New York, it is in LA.
Oh, no, it was on Broadway for a while. But
Telly Leong did it.
Yeah.
Telly Leong, such a nice guy. He's doing Aladdin on Broadway now.
Yeah, that one.
And he was doing Allegiance. So the cover Aladdin in the first year of Aladdin, Ethan Lee Fong. He finished his first year, then he covered Aladdin on Broadway. He's from America.
Okay.
And then after that, he went to do Allegiance.
In LA.
In LA, and then now he's gone back to New York to cover Aladdin. I think he's covering Aladdin
again.
I don't know whether he's covering Aladdin or.
He's really hoping that the lead is going to leave. He keeps covering Aladdin.
They're really good friends though, so I don't know.
One day that makes his league.
And both of them are about 126 but look 20. I don't know how they do it. So everyone's saying, "Oh, it's because they're Asian." Like, no, they look ridiculously young.
Oh wait, the current Aladdin is Asian.
Yeah, Telly is.
Oh yeah, wait. Sorry. Yeah. Telly now is.
You had one sip of sake. I had the rest.
My memory is just bad in general. They can go nuts. Cool. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, so actually there's quite a uprising, is that the right word? Uprising of diversity.
Yeah.
Once on this island, Lea Salonga was in it, and then the guy playing, I don't know what the role is, but it's a female role, but it was played by a man.
I don't know what musical this is.
Once on this island. It's really good.
Is it on Western now?
It's on Broadway.
It's on Broadway?
Yeah. I went to watch the preview.
Oh,
yeah, it's new.
The best musical Tony this year was, you know what it is, right?
Once on this island, no?
No. The one that won was, I don't know what it's called. It's based off a movie. It's basically an Egyptian band that goes to perform in Israel, but gets off at the wrong city. Anyway, the cast is actually, they are ethnically accurate in that, okay, they're not from Egypt, but they are basically of Arab descent.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool. Like, you actually have representation.
I'm embarrassed because I have no idea who won Tony's. I have no idea what.
I mean, I'm more plugged into the New York, than into the US news in general.
I mean, I just don't keep up with things really. I just kind of do my job. I really should be better educated than this.
Okay.
When I was in college, people were talking about. This is really embarrassing. People were talking about musicals that had an impact on social taboos and social issues. Yeah. And people were talking about this musical Hair. I was like, oh yeah, that's Hair is short for Hairspray, which is also black white integration. Yeah. And I was like, yeah. And everyone looked at me like, no, Hair, no, okay. So that was embarrassing, and I'm still like that. The first time I watched Aladdin the film was the day before I started rehearsals. I'm just very, very out of touch with the culture. Okay, lead my own life.
For me, I'm very interested in like the business side of the arts industry in general. So that's why I keep out of it. But yeah, I wouldn't imagine that if you.
The business side is really interesting because I feel like. I mean, I wish Cameron McIntosh at the time to just drop by for a chat.
He's just a rich guy, is he?
He started off not rich.
Oh, is it? I always assumed that
he started off as crew and stage management.
Really? So he actually... Oh.
He clawed his way up.
I didn't know that. He's got a theatre named after himself, so...
He owns several theatres.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Prince Edward is...
Oh, he is?
Owned by him.
I didn't know that.
So Disney rents it from Cameron McIntosh Limited.
Dude, that's ridiculous.
You know, I know Lyceum, which is where Lion King is owned by.
Oh, Lyceum is owned by him?
No, it's owned by Disney. That was owned by Disney.
Okay.
But there are several theatres which are owned by Cameron McIntosh. I can't list it off the top of my head. And he's produced so many musicals. He's produced Cats, Les Mis, Phantom, Miss Saigon, even the Western production of Hamilton. He's the London producer of
Hamilton. Wait, Cameron McIntosh produced the London Hamilton?
Yes. I mean, it's still the same creative team, but he has to go by the rights and all that. So, yeah.
Oh, dude, that's cool.
He is... I don't know. Before I came into when I was in Singapore, you know, I also subscribed to the thought that, you know, art's not going to make money. It's always going to be subsidized. It's always going to be profit share. But then you meet people like Disney and Cameron McIntosh built an empire on it.
But I actually think the exceptions are the ones that earn money. The norm is not to earn money. Even in big cities, in big markets like London and New York, the exception is to earn money. The norm is it doesn't make money.
I'm actually not... I don't know how true that is. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing.
Yeah.
Internet, help us. Yeah, I don't have such knowledge.
Yeah. As in, I think it's dominated by a few big names. Cameron McIntosh, Disney. And then once in a while you get these superstars that come up, like these geniuses that come up, like Lin-Manuel. But I think the bulk of it is just a struggle for most people.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just my hypothesis.
I don't know. My director, I'm having dinner with him on Friday. He might have an I could update you with an answer, you know. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, there's always a lot of fringe work happening, and to be honest, that's where, you know...
Yeah.
That's usually where purely artistic forms of...
Yeah.
Because I feel like people, like, productions that do profit, they're actually doing quite a good thing. They're trying to market art at an accessible level. I mean, much as ballet and opera and all this fringe stuff, it's really artistic and they have to be appreciated.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's so difficult as a layman to go in and watch it and understand what's happening or even appreciate it. And I feel like Disney and Cameron Macintosh, they package a product so it's accessible.
Yeah.
And that so that even if you don't understand, you appreciate the spectacle.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a fucking flying carpet in Aladdin.
I mean, that's just cool.
And no one in the audience can tell how it works.
Yes.
And I'm contracted to not say how it works.
Yeah.
So
I'm not gonna ask you how you are like. There's gonna be a bullet that will fly in. But anyway, I have to go in 5 minutes because I have to actually do work. Sadly, very sad.
Work.
But what I'm curious about, right, is when you actually. So now you conceptually want to go back. Do you think you can actually do it when you have to do it, or when you?
I don't know. It all so the lives of an actor. I don't know if I'm gonna get a job in March.
Yeah.
If I don't,
then you have no
I'll go back. I'll go back, which is fine. I'm fine for it.
Yeah.
But I want to stay here as long as possible because I've been here for 5 years and I've only learned this much.
Yeah.
There's so much I can learn.
Yeah.
In this country, and then if I can go to New York at some point, then there's so much more as well. I think I'll go back when I'm ready, but at the moment I'm not. But then whether or not I'm ready.
Yeah, when will you ever be ready? That's what I mean.
It's not just that, but whether or not I'm ready is not the issue. Is whether or not I can get a visa.
That's
if anyone wants to marry me from Britain, let me know.
There is the situation, which is the visa, and then there is the internal part, which is the readiness.
Yeah. Internal desires.
Yeah.
So, who knows?
Hello everyone! I hope you enjoy these 3 videos that comprise the conversation with Seng Henk. Now remember, if you like it, please feel free to share it with your friends. I just want to make sure that people do start thinking about these things and that everyone learns together. So, again, I have one ask of you. Let me know what you think about these things, and in particular, whether you have learned something from the conversation that Seng Henk and I have had. I'll see you in my next few videos, and I hope you look out for them.